Welcome into the UTRGV Coaches Show. I'm your host, KJ Doyle, joined once again by the man of the hour, head coach of the UTRGV Vaqueros, Travis Bush, after a thrilling 27-21 road win over the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Coach, how's it feel to be 2-0?
Better than the alternative, that's for sure. But no, it's just so proud of our guys last night. We talked all week. We knew it was going to be a hard game, and really, as a head coach, going back to week one, you know, we talked. I was just excited to see us play and see what we were made of, see what we were capable of, and we knew this week, and we talked about it during the week that now we want to find out who we are. You know, and we knew it was going to be hard. We were hoping, as a head coach, hoping for adversity, and really for you know what we want to build down the road, really wanting us to win a hard game like last night. And so for me, as a head coach, think it went exactly as the way it should have been. You know, obviously, we you know, felt like we could have done some things better, but to see those guys pull together, fight through adversity, make the plays on both sides of football when we had to get the job done, and walk out of there with a win, that's huge for our program, huge for our guys. It's hard to win football games. It's even harder on the road, and especially the way they did it. Just so proud of them and their efforts, and you know, want to know at the end of the week. That was the best we can do.
Yeah, and a couple of the players after the game echoed part of that sentiment. Elijah Prosser made big plays towards the end, and Nathan Denny both talked about how much this game meant to the team as a whole to try to prove that they could compete at the Division I level with a real Division I opponent. What does this win kind of say about what these guys are able to do at that level? Yeah,
I think it's a good gauge right now. Still, we're early to tell, but good gauge of where we're at, that we are capable. And you look back, and again, we moved the ball well offensively early. We made some great stops defensively. Then we started you know, making some mistakes at different places, and it showed how good teams can hurt us if we're not playing our best. But then at the end, it just boiled down to, you know, that toughness and that grit, and you could feel it on the sideline. There was, you know, guys never flinched. They never complained. I mean, it was the next series, next drive. Hey, we got your back, and sure enough, came down there at the end of the game when time to get stuff done. Defense got a stop. Offense took the ball down and scored. Defense came out and got a turnover to seal the game. And just again, that shows a lot about the character and the toughness of this group. So proud of them as a coach, and then now let's build on that and see what we can do down the road.
And it's not a great habit to get into what people are talking about online, so I'm not advocating for that. But a lot of people hyping a lot of praise on this program after what you guys have been able to do the last 2 weeks, and talking about how impressive it is that you guys have been able to go out and especially go on the road, win against an established Division I program as a new program in its first year. Does that kind of must feel good, validating everything you guys have done the last 2 years leading up, even longer than 2 years leading up to this first season?
Yeah, well, without a doubt. You know, that was the first evaluation. I was excited to see it, and just even more excited and more proud at the end of that game, and just watching them. But really, I mean, you look at the toughness that Denny ran there on the last drive, and Marburger putting the ball in his hands, and him just not being denied to get us a first down to finish the game, and you know, defense, you know, backed up. Then we get a pass interference call, and you know, give them a first down on third and extra long, and no one, you know, everyone on the sideline was just next play. Hey, we're going to get the ball back, and sure enough, next play we did. So it's just, again, to see that stuff that you know, they emphasize day in, day out, and to see it come to life there in the football game was really exciting to see.
Well, we're going to get into the plays in just a moment, but first I want to start off by showing some of the fan support. You posted about it on social media after the game was over. A lot of UTRGV fans in the crowd out at Prairie View coming to support you guys. How much did that mean to you to see the Valley going on the road to support the team?
That was cool, you know, and really didn't know what to expect. Again, first road game in history, but to come out for pregame warm-up, and you obviously we're an hour late because of a lightning delay, but you know, come out for pregame warm-up and just see all that orange behind us, and then their energy was great to have behind us on the road, especially there in the fourth quarter. You know, they were so loud, and again, proud of our university and all the people of the Valley that rallied around it to get up there. So we don't just have to rally the Valley, we can rally every road game too. So that was cool, and we needed that.
All right, well, let's start with the game-winning drive. When we talk about breaking down some of the plays from the game, no better place to start than here. Going to jump around to a bunch of different points of the game, but we got to start with the end. 6 plays, 56 yards, plus another 15 off a penalty that's just shy of 10 yards of play, no incompletions, flawless from your offense, execution-wise.
Yeah, it actually got backed up here on a punt. The penalty on the punt there backed us up inside the 30. So just kind of ran a little boot wheel, and TJ DeMint out of the backfield kind of got him rolling a little bit, snuck him out, hit him up the sideline there to get the drive going. And it really came back the next play, tried to get a tempo. We're looking for Xavier Nolan with a post down here, but the safety took it away. So Eddie did a great job checking it down again to the running back, got us out of bounds again. So TJ, that was a TJ again with both catches. And then came back here. Eddie kept the ball there on a zone read just to kind of get us. And then at this point, we're kind of getting in the field goal range already. So kind of being a little more, strategic. Not necessarily, trying to use a little clock and then giving it to Denny there and just pounding it, and then kind of just started taking our time. At worst, we knew we wanted a field goal, so we were just kind of trying to pound it in there, not be too risky. But at the same time, we wanted to score a touchdown. At worst, get a field goal. We knew here on third down they'd had everybody in the box, and knew we can get out there on the option. And great execution by Eddie and Denny there to get in and take the lead there.
It must feel good as a coach to know during these big moments of the game where, like you say, you're down in scoring range, field goal gives you guys the lead. You got to be mindful of that as a coach, that you can trust that you can just run the ball behind offensive line. They'll make the plays, they'll make the blocks, and you can still get in the end zone. You don't even need to worry about taking any big chances.
Yeah, that was key early. We hit those two big passes early, which got us across midfield. There's still 3 minutes or so in the game, so then we kind of slowed down, took our time. We knew we got all the confidence in our field goal team there with Bryson coming in, so we were in good range. And again, just wanted to see what we could do, try to push it in, try to score, put the pressure on them, but at worst, use as much time and get a field goal there.
And going back to the beginning of that drive that we just witnessed, I mean, some big plays there early on by Eddie Lee, and making some smart plays as well, of taking what the defense gives them. That first play kind of rolls out, and you mentioned finds the wheel. Not an easy throw to make. Kind of going to your right a little bit and throwing back towards the left, puts that one right in the right spot. And then again, just making a good decision as a drive starter type of play on that next one, checking it down and allowing his running back to pick up those big yardage.
Yep, good job, good there. Kind of knew that they're in a situation too where they still got to play the run and the pass, but definitely good read by him there to check it down and know that we can just still just trying to move the ball at this point and get completions and get first downs.
Smart decision making by a quarterback that has some experience, obviously, a guy that you're relying on to be a leader in the locker room. So great to see him make those plays. When we return on the UTRGV Coaches Show, it wasn't just all about the offense in the fourth quarter. Defense made a lot of big plays. We're going to look at those. They needed to make another stop after you guys scored that touchdown, so we're going to break all that down when we return on the UTRGV Coaches Show. Welcome back into the UTRGV Coaches Show. There's a lot to get to from this game. A stellar performance, especially from the defense. That game-winning drive wouldn't have been possible without a key defensive stop beforehand. It's always scary punting the ball away when you're trailing in the fourth quarter, but you're able to do so, pin him back after a really nice punt, good coverage by your punt team as well, and get the 3 and out that you needed, get the ball back for your offense.
Yeah, and it's just hats off. The defense played their tails off the entire game, and really that was they're a good offense. 2 good quarterbacks came in that game, and really to hold them to 20 points is huge regardless. But they played their tails off. I think I did a poor job at times offensively of calling some plays that put them in some bad situations. But they were getting after the quarterbacks all night. Great job by the secondary. Of course, our linebackers played well. Spencer Rich and Jaden Haygood were the leading tacklers again. And then TJ Neal was all over the field. So, but really proud of the way they played. We put them in some bad situations and had them on the field for a long time, which allowed them to get some momentum offensively. But again, when we needed them the most, felt confident. Fourth quarter, we could punt it down. We knew they'd get a stop and give the offense some field position. And then, of course, we're going to put it in their hands at the end of the game to finish it off.
And particularly to get a 3 and out there. When you're trailing, you want as much time as possible to let your offense take care of business, whatever they need to do, and to get the stop there, get the ball back for the offense. Plenty of time left with just 3 plays. Pretty impressive from what the defensive unit was able to do.
No doubt. Just again, Coach Gamble and that defensive staff does a phenomenal job, and they had some great schemes. And of course, when it came down to it, our guys were fast in the fourth quarter and got after them.
Well, another big play in the fourth quarter too. Not just the 3 and out that you guys were able to get, but later after that touchdown, Prairie View A&M has the ball back. you saw that we talked about it last week, right? When they were able to do the same thing against Texas Southern when they played them in week 1. They had a big game-winning drive, able to score the touchdown late and win that game. And so they were hoping to do the same thing here, and the defense comes through again, and it's Elijah Prosser, who we talked about last week, making big plays, makes more big plays here tonight, or in Saturday night, rather.
Yeah, without doubt. Again, Greg got after him, got a good hit by Maynard on that kickoff to pin him down there, and then had him backed up, and gave him a first down on 3rd and extra long with that pass interference call. But here next play, and they try to run up the middle, and Prosser comes in there, strips that thing out, and I think Elijah Graham ends up on top of it and gave us an opportunity to seal the deal there.
I know they called it, I heard people after the game, the Prosser Punch. That's what it's being nicknamed for the first UTRGV road win, the Prosser Punch coming in. And just, a great play. Great defensive instincts there for him to find the ball, get it out, and get the ball back for you guys. And obviously from there, able to seal the game. Eddie Lee Marburger makes the big play. All you got to do is run the clock out, and Eddie Lee's the one that's able to make the big run for the first down on 3rd and long and get you guys, out there with a win. Yeah,
we knew we had to get at least a first down. They were going to use their timeouts. We felt like if we got one more first down, we'd be able to run it out. And sure enough, 3rd long, we were going to keep it on the ground, make them either burn a timeout or use some time, but he did a good job keeping it in there, and he wasn't going to be denied. And they're trying to strip the football, and he just kept pounding his way. He is a big physical runner, and that was a heck of a job by him, just putting his hands and not being denied to win the game.
Absolutely fired up. Great job holding on to the ball, great blocks, and great job by him finding the hole. Not easy there on an option play to read that play the way he did. An excellent job there, and of course, as you mentioned, not getting the ball stripped out. That's the most important thing in that spot, and Eddie Lee did a great job on the ground in that situation. But he wasn't the only one doing great things on the ground for you. Nathan Denny, huge in this game, already saw his game-winning touchdown. We're going to look more into his performance when we come back. You're watching the UTRGV Coaches Show. Welcome back into the UTRGV Coaches Show with UTRGV football coach Travis Bush. Coach, a tremendous performance from your team all the way around, as we've detailed, but one of the guys that really stood out, Nathan Denny, has a great performance. We already saw his game-winning touchdown, but comes out and becomes your first 100-yard rusher in a single game in program history. Did a great job all night long, making plays behind the great offensive line performance as well.
And he's a great asset for us, and didn't only got a handful of carries last week. We rolled a lot of guys in there, but proved last night, he is our best runner. He can handle a load, had over 20 carries, I believe, and you can see it there in the 4th quarter. And he was the fastest one, toughest one on the field there running in the 4th quarter. So definitely a guy we wanted to get the ball in his hands, making guys miss and running over people. So again, proud of his efforts, proud of what he's done. He's going to get better every week. He gets in ball games and gets those reps. But he showed his leadership and his toughness last night, and he's be a great asset for us. And
Coach, we still haven't touched on how you started the game. It was a great start. Could have really swung things by one singular decision that you made early on when it was still very early in the game. You talked a few weeks ago about joking about us questioning decisions. No need to question this one. 4th down, you guys decide to go for it early, and it pays off, and it really starts that momentum swing in your direction where you're able to get out to that huge lead.
Yeah, and that was in that's that fringe area where it's a long field goal, it's a short punt, but if it's 4th and 1, we feel like we ought to be able to get it, and so kind of ran a just tempo play and hurried up and lined up and again gave it to Denny, put in his hands, and felt like he can get us a yard behind that right side of the line. And then, again, that allowed us to keep that momentum going, keep the guys on the field, and extend that drive and end up punching it in there.
And then from there, the rest of the first quarter, we can look at where things evolved to from there. Jumping out to a 17-0 lead, got to give you a lot of credit for that, too. Game script seemed like it went right according to plan from what you were able to do, and the players were able to execute.
Did some good stuff. We had some run schemes they hadn't seen yet. We hit them with and kind of caught them off guard. They're playing a lot of man, so we took some one-on-one matchups. But, Coach Jackson, they're well coached at Prairie View, and we knew they'd come back and have answers. They did. They did some things different coverage-wise. Definitely kept some guys covered over the top, took away some things to Zay, and then did some stuff. They rolled a lot of guys in there at D-line, but did some things to stop some of those run game schemes we had going there. So really, probably about 2 quarters, they did a heck of a job of just keeping us at bay there until we were able to get on that last drive in the 4th quarter.
And then the defense, not only was the offense spectacular getting you out to that 17-0 lead, the defense getting some big stops as well here in the 1st quarter just to keep the Prairie View offense from getting rolling early.
Yeah, no doubt. Getting pressure on the quarterback. I think you saw even DC Thompson, a D tackle, making a tackle on the sideline there, but they were flying around. And again, we were in a rhythm there. It wasn't until we started getting stopped offensively that kind of allowed Prairie View to get back in the rhythm. But TJ DeMint there with a great run. He's so quick, does a great job for us, and again, he's going to get better every week. So excited about. Again, we want to start fast. You have to. The worst thing you do on the road is be down 17-0 because it's going to be there's going to be adversity. So for us, I think to come out, get off to that start is what allowed us to kind of weather that storm in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, and then finish it off in the 4th.
All right, well, you see there Tony Diaz getting in the end zone. We talked about Nathan Denny, his performance, but Tony Diaz also a great day. We're going to get into more of that when we return on the UTRGV Coaches Show. We're back on the UTRGV Coaches Show with Vaqueros football coach Travis Bush. Coach, we talked about the 4th down that you guys were able to pick up early. Prairie View A&M tries to match you guys in the 2nd quarter, and the defense again. Another one of the examples of them making a big play throughout this game. Good stop here. Again, they got down there, and defense were able to hold them out of the end zone there on 4th down. So big time play, big time stop in series for the defense. Again, the negative to that, we come back on, we go 3 and out here, and then we put the defense right back on the field, and then that's when they allowed them to get down there and finally score. So, but they were playing their tails off all night. Hats off to them. Prairie View's a good offense, and to hold them to 20 points, they did a phenomenal job. And we talked about Tony Diaz, the plays he was able to make in the game. 6 catches, 121 yards on the night. Just a tremendous performance from him, and really big in the passing game. We saw last week, you spoke highly of him last week, gave him a lot of praise for the plays he was able to make when we talked about his touchdown, and he was big for you guys in this one.
Yeah, and you saw him, and that was one of the things we were curious about too, going to get some longer corners, some 6'2" corners, and but he was able to make some plays, some one-on-one catches down the stretch on those matchups, the first one here, and just great ball skills, but spatial awareness to get that foot down. They did review that play. It was close, and but they gave us the touchdown there, and I told him he would have worn his white shoes. It wouldn't have been a problem, but he did some great things. Another one here to start the 2nd series. I believe this first play of the 2nd series, and come out, and Eddie finds him one-on-one. Again, they played a lot of man coverage early, which allowed us to take those matchups. But he showed he can go up against anybody and make some big plays for us.
Tremendous throw by Eddie on that last one too, as he's getting hit, able to find him, and obviously it seemed like Eddie's getting a lot of chemistry with a lot of these receivers, Tony among them, obviously.
Yep, he did, and he did some good things, and then there's some things we'd like to have some plays back, but again, he when he came down to it, made the big play when we needed to, and just proud of their efforts.
All right, we'll wrap things up with Coach Bush after the break, talking about next week. We'll break down the next opponent on the UTRGV football schedule when we wrap up the UTRGV Coaches Show. Remember to join us next Saturday for Vaqueros Game Day. Start your Saturday morning getting ready for UTRGV football. We'll be live at 10 a.m. from the Vaquero Village for every home game. Come out and join us live on location as we kick off the fun ahead of the day, or tune in right here on Channel 5. All right, Coach, next up, it's Langston this week for you guys, continuing the non-conference schedule. What do you expect?
We've got 2 more home games, non-conference, both out of that Sooner Athletic Conference there, and top 3 teams picked in the conference, Langston 3rd, and then Texas Wesleyan picked to win it. So again, looking home game, looking forward to getting back at home and the excitement there. That Langston's coming in, they're 0-2, but really, this week is still going to be about us. How much can we improve? We saw some things we got to get better at this past week, and then how can we just keep improving each week? So really, the focus is always going to be about us, week in, week out, and the goal is going to be 1-0 at the end of the week.
And this type of thing can happen in college football when there's a lot of intense games, but another team coming off a thrilling game towards the end. They lose that one. They come out on the wrong side of that one as they lose in the final minutes. But another team you're dealing with, battling against, that's battle tested already.
Yeah, and we'll get to work on them in the morning and see what they look like. But again, hopefully, a home game, going to have the whole roster out there, and if we can get some guys in, hopefully we can roll a lot of guys in there as well.
And obviously, besides the obvious of just picking up a couple of wins, what's the goals over the next 2 weeks as you wrap up non-conference play for you personally? Same
thing we've talked about from camp. We want to be playing our best football when we get on that plane September 26th and start conference and go to Southeast. So that's going to be the focus these 2 weeks, regardless of who we're playing. It's about us. How much better can we get? How much can we improve? We still got to look at some things personnel-wise, and making sure we got the right guys in the right spots at the right time. So again, the focus is going to continue to grow and put our best pieces together within our schemes.
All right, well, Coach Bush, thank you so much for joining us once again this week. Congratulations again on 2-0. We'll do it again next week and to recap the Langston game. And then after that, we'll really start digging into conference play and what the schedule is looking like in the SLC.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Coach Bush. Congrats again on 2-0. We'll hope it's 3-0 next week. Thank you all for joining us once again on the UTRGV Coaches Show. We'll see you next week.